We are quite literally the shield and spear. This is wave 26 of the Expert Onslaught, somewhere around 40 power level under. Rowdy goes down first, then our random that we match made with goes down. I'm the last guardian standing, my health drops to about a quarter, and then I pop the shield. I would easily be dead here by all these flying dread arrows that seek me if it wasn't for this shield. I come out with full health and an overshield, and both my teammates res out. And when you move forward with that shield and taunt all enemies, they don't even look at you if you have someone running this. I mean, just look at me standing here in the middle of all this while Rowdy holds his shield. That's what I call some serious aggro and team support. You then release your shield blast as you move forward into a group of enemies, and either kill the entire group or weaken everything that's left in front of you. Then you just cock your fist back immediately after and let your one punch destroy any weakened target that might be left alive. You also gain overshield and devour by doing this. Yes, you heard that right, even devour on the Prismatic Titan, which always lacked some healing. And also those void overshields feel really good now if you haven't tried them yet with their buffs this season. You feel much more tanky with them. So we gain an insane amount of damage reduction with overshields in 2 different ways to proc those. We also gain frost armor times 5 for about another 23% damage reduction. We can have this up all the time. Then we have faceted protection, giving us extra damage reduction, and of course 100 resilience as well. And since we stack so much damage reduction, devour can easily heal us in any content, and since we have 2 abilities that hit so hard, we can pretty much proc this devour in any type of content. I mean, look at this Carl clip here. We almost kill him with abilities alone, and he has roughly 300k health. And I really like this combo. You lead with that shield, unleash it, cock back your fist and punch, slide forward to unleash damage, and then hold your slam button to slam the diamond lance at the same time. It's so satisfying when you pull it off. Oh, and if you need to revive a guardian, that is quite easy as well. This is in the level 50 Expert Onslaught boss room right now, and I can stand in the open, pick up my teammate, then move across the entire field pulling aggro for my team. I can't stress how amazing and fun this feels on the Titan to be both that shield and spear, and put out amazing damage and survive with the best of them. The unbreakable aspect is the catalyst that fuels everything for us, and we want to get our grenade back as often as possible, which is why devour is important, and that will allow us to use this aspect and chain everything together for us quite often. So unbreakable got a ton of buffs this season, and basically blocking damage keeps giving grenade energy, so the more you block, the longer you can hold your shield, and the more damage it does eventually, because the damage you're blocking is the damage output you're going to let go. At max damage, it does roughly 100k, which is pretty amazing for a grenade. That's like a ×5 Verity Brow buff on that grenade for Warlock. But that shield also now taunts enemies along with our barricade. As you can see from the gameplay, that taunt is very strong and grabs the aggro of all the enemies, which helps your team greatly. Also, if you get close to enemies with your shield, it will suppress them, making them disoriented, and very easy for you to clean up. Now we pair the unbreakable aspect with the fragment facet of dominance to allow our unbreakable blast to weaken everything. This includes what you kill with the blast and what survives. This is important because we add the artifact mod Power from Pain. It's in the 3rd column, so it's very easy to unlock, and if we rapidly defeat weakened enemies, that will grant us devour. That's only 3 kills. So if your shield bash kills just 3 enemies, which on its own is pretty easy to do, we gain devour. This adds that healing and grenade recharge that we all love so much. Now let's say there are some tougher enemies like you're seeing in the gameplay. Well, we can last for about 5 seconds. So follow your shield bash up with a charged thunderclap. You're basically immune from damage while using it, and since it hits so hard, and you get the bonus weakened damage because those enemies that are left alive are weakened, between your shield bash and your thunderclap, you will get your 3 kills you need to proc this devour. And let's say they're even stronger enemies, well, you could just pull out your heavy after you shield bash and shoot off a couple shots of that grenade launcher or whatever, or just 1 rocket shot, and you'll guarantee to kill the 3 enemies you need. Next, we add in the diamond lance aspect. Every time you either kill something with that shield bash or your thunderclap, you'll leave a diamond lance there. So you go from shield bashing into thunderclap into picking up the diamond lance and slamming it into the ground in a group of enemies or throwing it at a group of enemies. If you slam it into the ground, you get frost armor ×2 with any diamond lance that you slam, and you also give that frost armor ×2 to any teammates near you. So it's a nice quality of life change for diamond lance here to add damage reduction to you and your entire team. But you do need 3 diamond lance slams to the ground to get the max ×5 stack. And we already went over facet of dominance, so we also add in facet of ruin. increase the size and damage of the burst of stasis when you shatter a crystal or a frozen target. Well, our exotic is going to make crystals for us, and we're getting those frozen targets with Diamond Lance and shattering them with Diamond Lance. We also take Facet of Purpose here. Picking up an Orb of Power will grant us Overshield. We're always grabbing these throughout, and since the Overshield's got a nice buff, they actually feel very good. So if you haven't tried them, make sure you do. And of course, we're running Twilight Arsenal, still one of the best supers in the game, and it feels great to use. We already went over Facet of Protection that gives us extra damage reduction. We add in Facet of Hope to get that class ability back more quickly. I should have been dropping my Barricade more often to pull aggro, and I have to get back in my mind of doing that since I wasn't running Thruster and I'm used to just thrusting out. And then the last fragment is kind of a flex spot. I actually was enjoying Facet of Balance. Rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy, and then rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage grants grenade energy. So the darkness damage comes from your Diamond Lances, our exotic weapon we're going to pair with this, and the stasis crystals that explode. And then our light damage is mainly from our Shield Bash and our Thunderclap. Now speaking of exotics, both are new this season. We have the new exotic Stasis Grenade Launcher, Alithanim. I'm not sure if I said that right, but I really don't care. Now there's nothing really crazy going on with this grenade launcher. It is an exotic, so it does hit hard, especially on red bars, and it's unlimited ammo, so that feels pretty good. And of course you can create special and heavy ammo for your fire team. We all know this, right? I probably wouldn't even use this here, but since I am using the new exotic legs for the Titan, which is Blast Wave Striders, it plays perfectly into helping fill that bar and need twice as less kills to fill that bar. And honestly, I wouldn't even use Blast Wave Striders here with this exotic primary if it wasn't for the ×5 frost armor I get when I do this Blast Wave and let it off. So you build up that meter, right? And then you either do explosive damage to yourself or you slide, and you'll instantly get that ×5 frost armor and leave the stasis crystals out in front of you. I'm mainly running this just for the ×5 frost armor. It really comes in clutch and just adding that extra damage reduction throughout your gameplay, because the stasis crystals that it leaves, they do actually do good damage. Like on Carl, I'm pretty sure it was like 32,000 per hit, but you're lucky if one of them actually even hits. They spread out a little bit too far. If it was a little tighter spread, or you could aim it in some way, that would be so much better. And I hope Bungie takes a pass at this. I know they're brand new and that usually takes a little bit for Bungie to fix something or change it, but these things would be top tier with this grenade launcher from this season, of course, on any subclass really, because ×5 frost armor for just a free, 25% damage reduction is really good in of itself. But if you then add in that extra damage from those crystals and from the shrapnels that go out and hit enemies, you're looking pretty good. I actually found it better on the bigger target you come up against. So anything like bosses, champions, or mini bosses, it worked better because they were bigger, it was easier to hit them, and if they walked over the crystals, those crystals explode and damage them, right? But you could honestly drop both of these exotics. The way this build is set up is you could literally drop both of these and run something else. So for example, in my next Titan video, I actually want to run the Devouring Huckleberry. Since it got its nice buff, I'll just slide that in as my primary and then slide in Peacekeepers as my exotic. And you see where we're going this, right? We can still do the same combo, Shield Bash, Devour, Thunderclap, still have the Diamond Lances and everything, but now we just have that Huckleberry going off along with Peacekeepers. Now I've already talked long enough for this video, so for the mods on the build, just click the Mobalytics link down below. It'll show you all the mods I used, you can easily see them and slot them in perfectly for you. And the main one you want to take advantage here is Grenade Kickstart, so when you do get those 3 Orbs of Power picked up, and you use that grenade, you'll get about 30% of your grenade back with that Shield Bash, right? And then you already have Devour procced from it. So since we're already cutting out 30%, we only need to gain that extra 70% from Devour. And then of course with your stats on the build, 100 Resilience and 100 Discipline is the 2 I'd aim for. And then for the artifact mods, Power from Pain like I already went over, you get Devour from those weakened enemy kills, and then slot in the other grenade launcher ones, which is Rapid Impact, dealing damage with a grenade launcher, temporarily increase the reload speed of your grenade launcher. One with Frost. While Frost Armor is active, stasis weapons gain increased reload speed and stability. And then make sure to take 1 stasis loader on your gauntlets, just to make that reload on Alithanim go really quickly. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.